Well, hello. Welcome to Lunch for the Soul, everyone. I'm Melissa Wilson with Fox 26 News. I have a special guest for you today. I'm going to call her our Christmas miracle. What a remarkable story she has to share. She has been through so much. But you know what? Faith over fear, baby. And that's her motto. Please welcome Krystal Taylor. Hi, Krystal. I'm so happy to see you again. I tell you what, you've been through a lot. So I think the easiest way will just be to start from the very beginning. So you're from the Channelview, Galena Park area. I always like for people to know, get an idea in the Houston area where you are from. And you spent a lot of time at Memorial Hermann. So let's begin with what happened. When was it? It all started because of COVID-19. When were you first diagnosed with that virus?
I was diagnosed in July of 2021.
And then you got really sick with it. So you were hospitalized with pneumonia. What happened from there?
Yes, I was hospitalized with pneumonia, and then I had to be put into a medically induced coma. And during that time, my right lung collapsed, and it was just all downhill from there.
And you just went through so much. So they put you in a medically induced coma. How long were you in that coma?
Around a month and a half, maybe two.
That is a long time. And so you missed Thanksgiving, Christmas,
Mhm.
your daughter's birthday, New Year's, all because you were in the hospital. At what point did you wake up and realize what in the world was going on?
I woke up around October, but it took me 2 weeks to realize what was going on. My um, memory, I didn't remember. It took me a while.
And so you woke up with amnesia. This is something that we hear in a movie. So you didn't even know your husband was your husband who'd been by your side. As soon as he could get into the hospital, he was there for you, right?
Yes, he never left my side. I'm very blessed.
All right. So how did your kiddos do through all of that?
It was hard for them. It was very hard. I mean, they
Mhm.
didn't me checking myself into the hospital. I didn't think that was going to be the last time they saw me for so many months, and it was hard for them. But I'm very thankful. I had family and friends help. It
Mhm.
was it made it a little
And
easier.
tell us how many kiddos you have.
I have three. Yeah,
Yeah. And
I
how
have
old are they? What are their ages?
I have a 13-year-old Mia. I have a
Mhm.
7-year-old Miley, and my baby he's 8.
I happen to have some pictures. Let's just see if we can pull up a few of these so we can show who you have here. You want to introduce us?
Yes, that's me to the left, my daughter Mia, my son Bentley in the middle, and then my daughter Miley.
Aw. And then I have a picture here of you all. What a great pic you have. And these are the little loves of your life, huh?
Yes, that's my
They
everything.
mean so much to you. I love these pics. All right, so then let's talk about what happened. So I have some photos of you here. Is this after recovery and you're going back for follow-ups?
Yes, this is after recovery. Yes.
And I tell you what, you went through the unthinkable. So your lungs shut down through all of this, and you had to have a double lung transplant. At what point did you wake up and figure out that that's what was going to be happen to you?
Well, when I woke up, it took me a while to figure everything out. They didn't during the month of November 2021. They tried to let my lungs recover, but that's when we, finally realized my right lung had collapsed and my left lung was 97% down. So that's when they started talking about it.
And you weren't on the transplant list very long once that started going on. How did that process go for you?
I was put on the UNOS list around November, but I had to be taken off 2 or 3 times because I kept getting blood infections from my lungs. My lungs
Mm.
were kept, little by little break.
And your audio was cutting out just a little bit there, but you were just saying that your lungs were so damaged, you even with oxygen, you couldn't breathe, right?
Yes, my body by itself was only producing 3% oxygen, which was why I had to be incubated. I was on the
I just can't fathom that. Well, when I met up with you, we were at Levy Park, which was so intriguing to meet you and get to spend some time with you and talk to you about everything you're going through. And I just keep thinking about your situation because all of us were at a really rough time trying to figure out COVID-19, but there you were literally fighting for your life from it. And really, once some treatments got underway, were you dealing with this? Let's talk about something else. It's really tough to talk about, and I'm sorry to even bring it up, but it's just to see how you've gotten to be able to go through this. So at the same time, you were diagnosed with COVID. You were already in the hospital and you had been put into the coma, so you didn't know what was going on. But your grandparents also got it and were hospitalized at that same time. Walk us through what happened then.
Um, they were hospitalized maybe 2 weeks after I went in. And yes, my grandparents were very, very involved with me and my kids. So we were always together. And us not knowing, we had COVID, they got it. And, they sadly they didn't make it.
It's just so hard to think about you trying to recover in the hospital and then learn that your grandparents, who were really what you told me, more like your parents. I mean, you were very close to them. How did you find out? Because you were fighting for your own life. How did your family break that news to you, and when?
It took them a while to actually tell me, maybe about
Hmm.
maybe 3 weeks after I had woken up, because they really had to find a way to break. They didn't want, the doctors had recommended to wait telling me because they didn't want to affect my recovery.
And so then let's talk about how you did that. So you're in the hospital fighting for your life. How did you deal with that? Did you turn to prayer? What did you do in order to work through that pain of losing a loved one?
Definitely, definitely a lot of faith. Our faith,
Mhm.
I it was everything. That's really the only thing we had to rely on, faith and prayer. I'm very blessed that, my family prayed a lot for me.
Mhm. And we look at you here, I guess, at the graveside. It's your
Yes.
family, everybody just coming together and just trying to work through it together. Oh, and look at this sweet picture of, is this your hand and someone holding you?
Yeah, that was my mom. My mom.
Oh, how thoughtful that she was there for you. And then as we just take a look through some of the photos of surrounded by so many loved ones, how much has it made a difference in your life to be surrounded by people who care and who can help you?
It's such a blessing. It is such a blessing. It makes you realize going back that really has strong faith and they prays for you day and night.
Mhm.
It's everything. And without
Yeah, and I'm so sorry we're losing your audio a little bit, but you were just saying you don't know what you would do without that faith and without that family and those friends to be there for you. So you were working at the time, right? And had to quit and may not get to work now. Tell me a little more about that journey.
I may not, yeah. It all depends because I had just graduated phlebotomy school. I was a phlebotomist. So now, being in the medical field now and me being immune compromised,
Mhm. Yeah, that's tough, isn't it? Because you have to be so careful not to get any illnesses. Okay, so walk us through your routine. Once you got out of the hospital, I'm sure tons of rehab had to happen in order for you to get your strength back. You'd been in bed for months. Remind me how long you'd been in bed at that point?
from July to October, so August, September, I was in bed for 3 months.
Yeah, that's a long time to try to recover from. Was it hard to walk and do all those things again?
It was very hard. I lost so much muscle. It was very, very hard. But
And then you worked with Memorial Hermann to get that strength
yeah,
back where you got your transplant?
yes, they have the best physical therapists, occupational, respiratory.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, they made it so easy.
And they help you just work through all of that.
Yeah.
And then, how did faith come in, day out to help you get through those tough days of learning to do those things again?
It was just a lot of prayer. Every day my husband was by my side. We would constantly pray during the day.
Mhm,
I had a lot of, a lot of downs, more than ups, a lot of downs.
mhm,
I had a lot of things against me. Every time we got some kind we would pray. Even in the beginning when my wasn't me, they would outside. All my family friends would get together and
mm. And that is just so meaningful to help you get through those days. I know it had to really, really help. What would you say to anybody who's in the holidays right now? Maybe they're having a hard time with everything going on. What is your best advice for people going through a health crisis?
Just hold on, keep faith, and pray. On
Hmm.
prayer works wonders.
Hmm.
Keep your faith strong.
And then let's talk a little bit about your future. So, how does your transplant affect you day in and day out? Are you taking medications to make sure your body doesn't reject it? What does that picture look like for you?
Yeah. I take anti-rejection meds plus many others. I take about now. I've gone down. I take about a total of 17 right now,
Hmm.
every morning and night. And it's just I take a day.
And you're feeling good?
Yes, feeling good. Very thankful. Yeah.
What was that like? I try to picture myself, people telling me that's my husband, those are my children, and you don't know it. What was that like? How confusing was that for you to try to picture yourself in that situation? And I'm sure perhaps some fear that you might not ever get your memory back for those few weeks.
Yes, it was very, very hard. I mean, honestly, I would ask people. I remember my mom and my sisters. I would ask, you call Junior? Can you call my husband? And they would tell me, Krystal, he's right here next to you. And I could not believe it. I would say, no, like, no, that's not him. And, I would ask for my kids. They would tell me about my kids. And it was just, I could not remember.
I
Once
think,
I finally remember with pictures and everything,
yeah.
it's,
So when it snapped and you figured out who they were, was it everybody across the line or was it slowly one person at a time, one memory at a time? How did that work?
it was first with my husband. It took me, once my kids, it was all together.
Hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
that had to be such a relief for you. Did
Yes.
were they sad? Were they scared that mom might not remember?
They were very sad. Yes, they were. I don't
Mhm,
our first visit, but they tell me that it was very hard for them.
mhm. I can imagine. I everyone just put yourself in her shoes for a minute and just think about what that would be like. What do
Mhm.
you do now to try to stay away from germs? Are you still having to mask up, or what do you do to make sure that you are safe? Do you just go back to how we were all doing in the beginning?
No, 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 no. I
Yeah.
work everywhere. I don't have to go. Like, my husband does, and my
Mhm.
kids school. They wear their masks. They sanitize. I mean, we have to take because they know.
So I lost you for just a second there with audio. I don't know if it's on my end or yours, but you were just saying that you stay home a lot. You don't go out much just to be safe. Will
Yes.
that be forever, or is that just more while your body still continues to heal, or what does that look like for the future?
Well, first year of transplant critical,
Mhm.
so first year next month.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, Krystal, I can't thank you enough for joining us. You are just such a bright light. And I just hope that you just continue to enjoy the time with your family. Thank you for sharing your remarkable story. And I feel like we can all learn something from you. You're such a strong young lady.
Thank you.
All right. You take good care of yourself, okay? All right. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to just remind you if you happen to have joined us late, then you can always go to our Fox 26 YouTube page and see for yourself a lot of other Lunch for the Souls, as well as the beginning of this one, perhaps. Now, next week, we're going to have a doctor join us who is going to be doing a fun toy drive. He works all year long to try to raise money. And then at Christmas time, he goes to all the different cancer centers at the Texas Children's Hospital. He goes to MD Anderson. He goes to a hospital in Corpus Christi, and he delivers a whole lot of love. And he works with some pretty big movie stars, country western stars, some rockers even, who come into Houston and do everything they can to raise tens of thousands of dollars for all these gifts. So he'll be joining us next week. So that'll be a fun way to send you into your holidays. So I hope you will join us for that. Meantime, I hope you have a beautiful day. If you have any ideas, you can always reach out to me at Melissa.Wilson at fox.com and let me know. All right. Take care. Bye bye.